1 Samuel 20 is it's so super touching, because Jonathan and David were really good friends. And just to kind of break it down, in case you don't know what's going on, I think the Lord helped me in this reading more than ever, that I think it was expressed with understanding, because the Lord's given me understanding of it. But anyways, here's basically summed up. David saying, "Your father, he wants to kill me." And Jonathan saying, "Look, he doesn't want to kill you. You're overreacting here," or something, And David goes, "No, surely he wants to kill me." And he goes, Jonathan said, "He would have told me if he was going to kill you." So anyways, they talk about it, but there's this pact that's made that I want to go over in a moment, but between them, because it's really, really prophetic. But anyway, so I'm thinking Jonathan the whole time is just thinking David's just worried over nothing. So he says, "Look, okay, let's go out into this field here, and this is what we'll do. You hide out 3 days." Because actually, that was David's idea. David said, "Hey, tell them," and this is kind of fun. It's not funny. It's kind of a little troublesome. David tells him to lie. But he says, if thy father miss at all me, then say, David earnestly asked leave of me that he might run to Bethlehem and for his city, for there is a yearly sacrifice there for all the family. And if he says, well, that's okay, and, doesn't have any problem with it, then, then everything's okay. Then he says, but if he gets angry, and so, therefore, what does it say? But if he be wroth, then be sure that evil is determined by him. Okay, so then Jonathan has his own idea of how to tell David if, everything's well or if he needs to go. But I'm thinking Jonathan was figuring, everything's going to be fine. So Jonathan tells him, if I shoot these arrows off to one side kind of near you and tell the lad to go over to grab them, you just go ahead and grab them and then bring them over to me yourself even. And, but if I shoot them beyond the boy, that means there's trouble and you better hit the road. Well, so once again, I think Jonathan just figures, everything's going to be fine. So then they go to the house, and he has dinner, and there was nothing said the first day. Which, by the way, this is interesting too, because I've just learned this since the last time reading this. It says tomorrow is the new moon. That's how they determined months back then. Jesus said you can discern the face of the sky, but you cannot discern the times. So that's how they determined when the months were. Okay, but anyway, he says the new moon, and then at some point it says here it's second day of the month. Somewhere. But anyway, then all of a sudden Saul is a little irritated the second day. And I'm still trying to find the part where it says the thing is second day of the month. But anyways, you can listen to the chapter and be aware of that. Okay, so anyway, Saul starts getting irritated. So Jonathan's probably thinking, Well, he recites all this stuff. And I tried to read it in such a way where it sounded like it was stilted. But then Saul's anger was kindled. So anyways, whether I belabor this, I think Jonathan, when he went out into the field the next day, I can't imagine how heavy his heart must have been when he just thought everything was going to be fine, and then he had to go out and tell his friend to leave. It must have broke his heart. It broke my heart as I read it. But here's the pact that is really amazing because it's prophetic. He says, let's see, now there's something where the verse ends where it says, wouldn't have hurt if I'd have been prepared before I started this video, but right here. The Lord do so and much more to Jonathan, but if it please my father to do thee evil, then will I shew it thee. Then I will shew it thee, and I'll tell you if he wants to do bad, and send thee away, that thou mayst go in peace, and the Lord be with thee, as he hath been with my father. And thou shalt not only while yet I live, show me the kindness of the Lord, that I die not. He's saying, spare me, if you would. Because he's recognizing that David is king when it's not been officially proclaimed. But Jonathan was right enough with the Lord to recognize that David was God's anointed. But also, thou shalt not cut off thy kindness from my house forever. No, not when the Lord hath cut off the enemies of David, every one from the face of the earth. And that's the thing. That was prophetic. He knew that David was going to have great victories in his kingdom. And even when your rule extends over the face of the earth, show my family kindness at that time. He recognized that he wasn't going to be around even. I just realized that. And he wasn't going to be. That's what makes this also a sad story. This is the last time David and Jonathan saw each other, I think. But then we see later on also that David held to his promise. As we continue to read, we'll find out that David honored that with Jonathan and his covenant. So, we'll get on now with the reading of 1 Samuel 21.